Welcome back to another episode on the law of attraction. Now in today's video, I want to talk about what your purpose are and what are you supposed to be doing. Now, a lot of people are struggling with this because they don't know what else are they supposed to be doing. Their lives aren't the way they would want it to be, and they're not happy, they're not fulfilled. They go to a meaningless job day in and day out, and just to survive, and they don't know what they're supposed to be doing, what would fulfill them, because ultimately that's our purpose, that's the purpose of life, is to be happy, right? And if you're not happy, not fulfilled, then clearly you're doing something wrong, because a lot of us would think that this just cannot be what was meant for us as human beings, just to survive until we make it to the other end, which is old age and then die. So what are you supposed to be doing? That's the question that I want to answer today. Now, the answer that I found, I mean, there might be a lot of different answers, but the answer that I found was that your purpose is to lift up other people. And the way you do that is by becoming the best and strongest version of yourself that you can be. Now, I'm not saying that you need to let other people walk all over you or step on you, and you need to be less than everybody else. What I'm saying is that there is joy and fulfillment and happiness in knowing that you are stronger than other people, and to utilize that strength and to use it to lift up other people weaker than you. So that is, in my opinion, what our purposes are, is to become as strong as possible and to lift up other people, to use that strength to recognize that there are other people who are not where we are, who are still weaker than us. And that's not physically. It might be physically, it might be mentally, spiritually, emotionally. But we need to improve ourselves so much that we become so strong that we can then start giving that back to other people. Because there's no greater feeling in the world than to see how your skill and your strength is used by other people. And I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm not saying people should use and abuse you. I'm saying where you can see somebody weaker than you can now benefit from your strength. That is a great feeling. It's an amazing feeling. Knowing that you've made a lot of money and now you can help out somebody else that just isn't where you are, that who doesn't have what you have, or who does not have the capacity or the skill or the whatever it is that's needed to get to where you are. But to know that you have literally built yourself up to the best of your ability. You've become the best version possible for you. Now, a lot of unhappiness and a lot of frustration for a lot of people lies in the comparison, where they compare themselves to other people. And they say, well, that person has that and I need to have that in order to feel happiness. What they don't realize is that you have a different journey because you were born different, and you have different qualities, a different personality. And whatever is your best is not necessarily somebody else's best. So you cannot compare yourself to other people and say, well, if they can have that, I want that too, because I should be able to get that because they can have that. If you are not destined to become the next millionaire in your family, or the first, then that's not your destiny, because you've got other attributes, you've got other skills, you've got another different journey that you need to follow. But the question is, are you doing the best you can every single day? So in order to chase or to achieve happiness, the only thing you need to do is to improve yourself, again, spiritually, emotionally, financially, all of those things. Everything about yourself, just to do the best you can do, to the best of your ability, not somebody else's. Because you might not be destined to be the strongest man or woman on the planet. But if you know for a fact after each day that you've invested or you've expelled all the energy that's available to you, I guarantee you are going to feel good about it. So if you feel depressed, if you feel frustrated and stuck, know that it's not because somebody else has something that you don't. It's because you know deep down inside that you are not living up to your potential. So you need to stop looking to the outside world and figuring out, how do I acquire that car? How do I get that money? How do I get that relationship? Because you believe that once you have those things, then that's going to fulfill you, and that's going to now make you happy in some way. But what you need to realize is that subconscious depression, as I mentioned, is your mind knowing that you are not living up to your potential. You did not do that day what you are capable of personally. And your capabilities, again, might be different from somebody else's capabilities. In fact, it will be different. So the question is, are you doing enough? Are you literally building up yourself? Are you improving yourself? Are you strengthening yourself so much that you know after every day, when you go to rest, when you go to bed, knowing that you've done everything in your power to improve yourself, not to acquire some certain things, but to improve yourself, to overcome the obstacles you face, because your obstacles will be different than somebody else's. But to overcome your obstacles bit by bit, and to know that you've worked your body to a little bit of exhaustion, to know that you've expelled energy, more energy than you normally did, and building that up bit by bit every day. And that's happiness, because I guarantee you, if you've never felt what it feels like to know that you are the strongest person in the room, again, it's not physically, might be physically, it depends on which situation, but it might be physically, spiritually, emotionally, but you know you are the strongest person in the room. And not to brag about it, and not to step on other people or drag them down. I'm saying, or to make them feel bad about themselves. But I'm saying, knowing that you are the strongest person in the room, that you've worked so hard, that you are now the strongest person in your room that you are in, and to see from a distance how other people's lives are improved because of your strength, how they use you as a rock, as a foundation to step on, because they are weaker than you. That is such a great feeling, to know that your hard work is paid off. It feels better than knowing that you've now bought the car and you're now competing with your neighbor, and you've got a better car and you've got more money, and that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't bring fulfillment. But knowing that you've worked hard and that you are now the strongest person in the room, and allowing other people to use that, people that are not where you are, people that are not as strong as you, people that are struggling perhaps, seeing that from a distance, how they can use that and how they benefit from that and how it improves their lives, are worth so much more than actually acquiring anything. So that's happiness. That is fulfillment. That is our purpose, is to become the best version of who we can possibly be. So you might ask, what has this got to do with the law of attraction? Because I presume you are on this video, you are watching this video because you want to know how to manifest that something that you want. And you might say, well, this has got nothing to do with the law of attraction. It's got everything to do with the law of attraction, because it's basically the law of energy exchange. It's the law of the other laws of the universe that we cannot ignore if we want to attract a better life, if we want to attract something into our lives. Because energy expelled always will be replenished, will be replaced by a different form of energy. That's just the law of the universe. And that energy might be the thing that you are wanting to manifest. So I want you to forget about the thing that you want to manifest just for a while. Forget about the money, forget about the relationship, forget about, I need that now in order to be happy. Put that aside. I know it's going to be difficult because a lot of our desires that we want to manifest, our goals, are fear-driven. We want the money because we want the security. We want the relationship because we want the happiness, and we feel our time's running out and we're not experiencing that. So it's the stress, the constant stress, that something might be taken away from us, either the freedom or the time or our youth or whatever it is, or health. And I want you to forget about that because, and I know it's not going to be easy because that's fear-driven, but put that aside. You can always go back to living that type of lifestyle where you constantly focus on the fear and trying to find ways to acquire those things that will take away that fear. But for now, if you can, put that aside and say, am I improving my life every single day? Am I doing something every single day that's improving my life? And you need to improve on every plane. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, all of the above. So ask yourself every single day, and I guarantee you, once you start doing this, once you start doing this as forming this habit of improving yourself every day, overcoming some obstacle or some fear every single day that you've been sitting with, I guarantee you, if you do this today and tomorrow and every day after that, you are going to feel on top of the world. You are going to feel like a brand new person, because that effort, the fact that you overcome those obstacles that you've been struggling with, that you've been facing, if you face those fears that you've been ignoring all your life, once you overcome those, it might not be mentally at all in line with what you want in order to take away that fear, but I guarantee you, you will feel amazing. And then at that moment, once that starts becoming a habit of yours, that's when the universe will say, listen, you are expending so much energy, I need to start repaying you for this. I need to replenish your lost energy. And at that moment is when all of the things that you've always wanted just become so accessible to you, and you can then pick and choose whatever you want. But if you are in this position where you are fear-driven and you say, well, that's a grand ideology, and I would do that if everything else is in place. If I have the money, if I have the relationship, if I have the freedom, if I have health, then I can focus on just randomly improving my life. But I guarantee you that's not how it works. I guarantee you will be chasing the things that you want for the rest of your life, and you'll move further away from it. Because the more you obsess about finding that one thing that will bring you happiness, the more you will neglect the rest of your development. And the more you neglect the rest of your development, the further away you will move from actually being able to acquire that thing that you want. So the lesson of today is to improve yourself every single day. Let go of those things. Take a step back and say, who am I? Maybe my destiny is not to be the richest man or woman in the world, but my destiny might be to be the best parent in the world, or to have 10 kids, or to do whatever the case might be. But take a step back and say, I'm going to, regardless of how unhappy I am at my job, regardless of how unhealthy I am, or whatever the case might be, I'm just going to improve my life. I'm going to choose 5 different parts of my life, and I'm going to improve a bit on each every single day. And just do that for a month and see the difference in your life. And then do that for 6 months, and then do that for 12 months. And notice the enormous shift in your life, in your mind, in your health, in your finances, in everything. Notice the shift. but improve yourself every single day. That's the key to happiness. And allow other people to benefit from the strength that you've built up. Because just by building up strength and keeping it to yourself, that's also not happiness. True happiness lies in how we then allow other people to benefit from that strength. And that, at that moment, is when the universe will repay you with all your wishes and all your desires. That's the key to manifesting the type of life that you've always wanted. If you are still on this video, you need more help or more guidance maybe, then feel free to contact me. The link's in the description below. And remember to please like and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next one.